Oh, cool, Cardinals. Hey, namaskar everyone, how are you? Hopefully everybody's been doing fantastic. Listen, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by and checking it out. I hope you're gonna stick around. If you're already a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. Now, we all know when I say welcome back, that means it's time for another adventure. Another adventure always asks the questions, where are we and what are we doing? Well, we are in, and I can hear the excitement already. I can hear it. We are in Mill Creek Park once again. Everybody loves Mill Creek Park, and for good reason. Now, what are we doing in Mill Creek Park today? Well, if you watched any of my videos before, okay, you'll notice that I do a lot on Mill Creek Park. And why not? This is kind of like in my backyard almost. It's my go-to when I want to just get away. There's a lot to do here. There's a lot of trails here. There's a lot of wildlife here. So I use it to my advantage. Now, where our adventure is today, I've shown you in the past. I've talked a little bit about it in the past. Not in detail, just by passing by it. But we are going to get to see a little bit more of the old log cabin in Mill Creek Park, which is right over there. That's the old log cabin. And I think that I will be able to get inside today. So I decided to just do a video on the cabin itself. Now, I could have walked over there. You know what? We'll talk in a little bit. If you're ready for today's adventure, get off the couch, get ready, and let's go. We are right here. Right here. That is fantastic. Gotta go. Oh, shoot. Look at all of them. I think they're ready to kick my ass. Harden saliva. You're okay. You're okay for watching my channel.
Jesus, God, Mamma Mia, look what we got.
Shh. I said there's people still sleeping. Calm down. We're gonna go. We're gonna go. I told you she was afraid of bridges.
Do not. Stop it now.
That is the starting point of the trail. I guess. I don't know. You can start at the beginning or you can start at the end. I don't think it matters where you start at. But wherever you start, that's your starting point. Oh, shit. That's why I tell you, if anybody's looking for an HJ, this is the spot. Take a sip. History. Better Malanga. Okay, looks like you're ready for adventure. I'm ready for adventure. Let's get on with this adventure. I am, well, you know, I could have parked over there by the log cabin. Okay, and I could have got out of the truck and I could have showed you, but what fun is that? So I chose to start at the Lake Glacier boathouse and walk over there. And you know, it is, I guess I could consider this the first hike of the year. Of course, it's not really going to be a hike. It's going to be a short walk, whatnot, but it's the beginning of the year. I think we should get our legs stretched out a little bit and prepare for some of those longer hikes this year, because there definitely is going to be some. I've been looking at some and looks like some of them are pretty strenuous. So get in shape a little bit. But I chose to start at Lake Glacier here. Now, again, I've done a lot of in-depth walks and hikes of this area. I've actually walked some trails up that way, the Slippery Rock area, which would be down that way. Fellowship Gardens is up there. we walked a lot of these trails. And again, I've shown you, I've walked past the log cabin and I've talked a little bit about it, but I'm hoping we can get inside, which I think we will be able to. So that will be awesome. But Lake Glacier, this is actually, and go back and check out some of my videos because they are more in depth. So I'm not really going to go crazy with information on this because our focus is about the log cabin itself. But I'll throw some knowledge your way, for sure. But Lake Glacier, keep off the ice. I don't think we need that right now. But Lake Glacier is the second largest lake that is in Mill Creek Park. There's Lake Glacier, there's Lake Cohasset, there's Lake Newport. This is actually the second lake that was built by damming up Mill Creek. So second largest lake, second built lake, and this would have been built in 1906. So yeah, Lake Glacier. And I don't know if a lot of people know. Actually, you know what? There is a map up here. I don't want to show my face the whole time. I want to show you some of the views. Man, that is nice. It makes me want to go kayaking. It does. Now, also, this is where they keep all the paddle boats in the summertime. And in last year, I was talking, everybody called up because they weren't open. But here's a map. And there is Lake Glacier, Lake Cohasset, and Lake Newport. And I've done videos on pretty much most of those. We'll walk down here a little bit. Yeah, I think we can. Yep, the gate's not blocking. But a lot of people don't know that there was some other things in Lake Glacier, or about Lake Glacier. They used to make ice on this lake. They used to cut ice, and right over there is the Lake Glacier Dam. That's where it's dammed up. And if you go past that, there's the Ice House Dam even further down. So what they would do is they would cut the blocks of ice, they would push it down, and then it would get to the ice house mill. There used to be a slaughterhouse around Lake Glacier. And there was even a soap factory. And I believe that was the William Green soap factory. Now, I'm going to go over here a little bit. I want to go over here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. But yeah, here's the boathouse. I'll talk about that here in a minute too. Obviously, we can't get in there. But that water's probably cold, so I don't even think we would want to be on a paddle boat or whatever. I would go kayaking. No, I'd go kayaking. Now, see, we're not going to be able to see it, but I mentioned the green soap factory. If you go around this bend a little bit, we're not going to be able to see it. On the left-hand side will be the Parapet Bridge. Of course, some people call it the Dragon Bridge. I will always call it Indian Bridge. Almost directly across from Parapet Bridge, there stood a house. There was a house, not a big plot or anything, and it was actually moved to that spot because I think it was further down on the banks. But there used to be a house right across from Parapet Bridge, and that was the William Green house is what it was. And we're not talking like a greenhouse with plants. We're talking about the name William Green. It was the William Green house. I don't know if that was actually his factory as well. So if anybody knows, leave it in the comments. Now, I remember that house being there as a kid. I remember driving past because I used to love that house. It was overlooking the lake. I don't know what happened to the house. I have no idea what happened to the house. I was looking yesterday and this morning, and I just can't find anything about what happened to the William Green house. I don't know if they moved it. Did it catch on fire? I cannot remember. I just know that one day it wasn't there. But yeah, here is the again, if somebody knows what happened to it, leave it in the comments, because I would actually like to know. But yeah, here's the Lake Glacier Dam boathouse, or not dam, the Lake Glacier boathouse. Some people might consider this to be the ice skating shelter as well. There's some birds flying. There were some birds fighting earlier on when I was down here. I was hoping to get it on video, but they were too fast. They flew too fast. Now, this lake here, you wouldn't tell from now, I guess, but in the 20s, maybe in the mid 1920s, this was a big swimming area. They had beaches here. There was actually 2 bathhouses around here, and over time, and like I said, this right here, I mentioned it was the ice skating shelter as well, because they did used to ice skate on here. I don't think you can ice skate anymore, and I definitely know you cannot swim here no more. And I will tell you why you cannot swim here anymore here in a minute. Let's look at, if you listen real close, you can hear the waterfall. Yeah, you can hear that waterfall. Now, again, 1920s, this was when it was in its prime. Lot of swimming, the beaches and whatnot. Over time, testing the waters and whatnot, they deemed it unsafe because the water was contaminated. What do you mean it was contaminated? I tell you, Mahoning Rogers, he fought for the park, and he fought on that issue for a long time about the sewer system around this area. Mill Creek Park and the surrounding areas here have a bad sewage system, meaning that sewage water gets into the water here in the park. Not just here, everywhere. I remember years ago, it was quite some time ago, maybe 7 years ago, 8 years ago, they had a bad problem. It was a bad year, and all you seen were just dead fish in this lake. All of them. So the sewage system is really bad around here. Now, like I said, Mahoning Rogers fought that. It was actually the sewage wars. That's what some people call it. He knew there was problems even before anything happened. Obviously, he lost that battle. He lost that fight. And we know that because it still happens today. I don't think that will ever be fixed completely. I think it's always going to be a problem. But yeah, that was a little bit about Lake Glacier. That's a little bit about the boathouse. I always wanted to live in that house. I thought it looked cool. I think we'll move on from here. Yeah, this is cool. Now, Mahoning Rogers, if you don't know who Mahoning Rogers is, well, obviously, if you're from here, yeah, if you're wondering what those are too in the background, those are for the kayaks. I mean, I don't know, maybe somebody's never seen those before, but that's what those are for, is the kayaks and canoes. But back to Mahoning Rogers. If you don't know who Mahoning Rogers are, obviously if you're from the area, you know the name very well. If you're not from the area, Mahoning Rogers was the founder of Mill Creek Park. The father of Mill Creek Park, if you will. So yeah, that was a little bit about Lake Glacier. That was a good starting point. Now maybe the further on I go, I can kind of show you the area where William Green's house was. Again, I really like to know what happened to that house. But we're gonna move on, and we're gonna keep on rolling. And it is a nice day outside. It is a little chilly, hence the hoodie up. But yeah, we'll keep walking, and I think what we're gonna do, because I think what everybody's gonna ask me, I can hear you, not too good. Maybe it's my hearing of getting old, you know, but I think everybody wants me to walk down to the Lake Glacier Dam. Is that what everybody's telling me to do? So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna walk down to the dam. I'll show you that, and then we'll walk back up to the old mill, or I always want to say old mill, the old log cabin. And there's people using it today, okay? So when they're done, I'm gonna be able to get in and show you the inside. So it might be a little while. I might do this little walk here and then do what I gotta do and then show you the inside of it. So that's the plan so far. So let's keep walking. And I think you'd rather see that view a little better, right? And this is a nice view no matter what, winter, summer. It does look nice though in the summer when the green is showing. Now see, maybe we can see it from here. Actually, you see where that, you're probably not gonna be able to see it. There's a white car way down there. Okay, so if you're looking at the trees, the one hanging over, look for the white. You got that tree there, and then you got another white tree, and then the fourth one down there. There was a white car down there parked. Way down in there is the area where that greenhouse was, the William greenhouse. And then across from that would be the Parapet Bridge. And all these names I'm naming, I've done videos on them. So check them out. Check them out. Lots to do in Mill Creek Park. Lots to do in Mill Creek Park. Now the old log cabin, like I said, we're coming up to it, but I'll go a little later on it. Usually you see a bunch of nests. I was looking for the nests in here. I haven't seen them, unless little kids, they walk and they take them out and collect them, whatever. But yeah, there it is, the old log cabin right there. Now, some people in the early days call it the Timothy Woodbridge cabin. And we'll talk about that. We're definitely gonna talk about why it was called that as we get a little bit more into the video. Now a little bit about the log cabin is that is the oldest structure in the Youngstown area, and that would be Mahoning County. Now I said structure, it's the oldest structure in Mahoning County. Okay, it was not always there. That was actually in the Bear's Den area, and it was built in 1816. And I told you it was the William Woodbridge cabin. I mentioned William Woodbridge. He is the man that actually bought that cabin and had it moved here. Log per log. He disassembled it. Well, he didn't. He had somebody do it. Moved it over here, reassembled it, and it's sitting in the spot that it is today. How cool is that? And look over there, there's my daughter Emily. Hey, hey.
We're ready.
All right, well, we're gonna keep walking down. I tell you, every time I'm doing a video, she shows up. I don't know if she likes it or not, but you know, it is what it is. She's in the videos. Right up there, we did a video on there. There's the Fellows Riverside Gardens up there. Of course, they're probably open now. I actually, one of my last videos I did for Christmas at the gardens I did, but I don't think that's open. I don't think the tower's open right now. Want to walk down to the walk down to the falls.
Yes.
We'll do a little bit, and then I think the plan, because I can't get into the cabin yet. I could, but it's decorated. So I want to show everybody what the actual cabin looks like without the decorations. So I'm going to do what I have to do, and then I think me and Emily are going to take another walk, and then I get to show you the cabin inside. Yeah, see where that white truck is over there? Right there. There's that white car. There's a truck right around where that truck is. That's where I keep talking about the William Green house, but that's where that house used to be. And again, I don't know if that was his actual shop or not. I want to say it was. But I don't know for sure. I tried to do some research on it, and I got nothing of what happened to it. I don't know what happened to it, and I really want to know. There's some lichen on the tree right there. Yeah, but more about Dr. Woodbridge. He was a doctor, and he purchased that cabin in 1862, and that's when he had it. That's when he had it moved. And yeah, we just passed it. It's behind us now. Okay, there's the boathouse way over there. And what's cool is that cabin, he lived there. It was his office, and it also he did his surgeries there. So just in that little small cabin over there. So how cool is that? That is very, very awesome. But yeah, you hear the water getting bigger. Now there was it's funny because there's claims to the log cabin being haunted, and it's a funny story. I'm sure there are some spirits along with that. It's an old building, but a man came in to see Dr. Woodbridge. Woodbridge was not there, and mind you, that it was his office. So he walked in, and upon walking in, seen a skeleton, and the man got scared and took off. Now I'm sure, I would almost be positive that skeleton, like most doctor offices and such have, was a model of the human skeleton. It wasn't a real skeleton, but you know, he claimed it was haunted. So little fun fact about the log cabin. There's another view of Lake Glacier. How cool is that? Yeah, I'll show you a little bit. We're gonna focus on the dam right now, and I'll tell you a little bit more about Dr. Woodbridge when we get to it. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the falls here. The Lake Glacier Dam Falls. 18 foot high and 160 feet wide. Designed by E. Sherman Gold. Built in 1904 and 1906. You know, when I say E. Sherman, what was... Oh, somebody smoking some happy grass here too. Everywhere you go, you can be sure somebody's smoking happy grass. What was the I can't think of the name. What does that remind you of? E. Sherman. What's the cartoon, the movie with the fish? Dory. What was the address?
I don't know.
It's E. Sherman something, right? I believe it was. But here is, we can walk over here, and I'm not going to go down, but I'll get over here and we can look at the dam. Actually, you know what? Maybe we can go down. We'll go down. We'll go down. It's not bad. It's not real wet. It's dry. But this has deteriorated a little bit. Watch your step right here on that. Yeah, they used to, when they cut the ice, they used to have a platform, some wooden planks here that went up and come down, and they would shoot the ice down here and it would go down. And there's another dam further down, which would be the ice house dam, and that's where the ice house was, and that's where they would chip the ice and cut the ice after cutting it from here and deliver it to customers and businesses and whatnot. So yeah, a lot of history in Mill Creek Park. A lot of history. Let's go. Maybe we can go down a little bit more. Yeah, we can go down here, right? That mud's a little slippery though. Man, that water's probably cold as heck. Yeah, I think there's some old, you can find some old pictures of this. All the foam and the froth, you know, just figure there was making ice in the soap factory and whatnot. Yeah, you look online and you can find some old black and white pictures of some of this, some of the old history. Yeah, so the water's flowing pretty good too. It was, it did rain yesterday, so that's going pretty good. Pretty cool, right? You used to be able to walk. Down that way, all the way. There used to be a trail. I don't know if it just worn away or whatever. But we are going to go. We are going to go back up. Don't want to bother the topers. But let's go. We're not going to go that way. We're going to go back this way, back towards the you know what, let's stay on this side so we can face traffic. We're going to walk back this way. We'll talk a little bit more about Dr. Timothy Woodbridge. We'll talk about some facts about him. Gotta watch traffic. It is a little colder than I thought today. Yeah, Dr. Woodbridge, he was born in 1810. And I did get that right, 1810. He was actually the first born native physician of Youngstown. So that's a pretty big deal. Watch out. That's a pretty big deal right there. Everybody just want to fly down here. Now, he was one of 3 sons. His father was John Woodbridge, and he had a tannery. He ran a tannery, which Timothy helped him from time to time at that. Another little fact about Dr. Woodbridge: when he was young, he almost drowned. He was swimming in the Mahoning River with his brother John, and whatever happened, you know, they got in some sort of trouble. Unfortunately, his brother John did drown, but he escaped from that tragedy. Thankfully, you know, it's not a good thing that his brother did not, but it was a good thing that he did, because he became quite a physician. Man, this is nice. Yeah, I know he attended the Jefferson Medical College, and I think that's in Philadelphia. Yep, there's the log cabin right there. I always like that building up there to the fellows. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, in Philadelphia, the Jefferson Medical College. He graduated in 1833. Moved back. He moved back to Youngstown, and he actually started his practice in North Lima, Ohio. And everybody told him, hey, you got to get out of North Lima. You got to get out of North Lima. Come to Youngstown. So that's what he did. That's what he did. And some other facts. Man, I don't remember this being knocked down. Some other facts. I think it was between 1847 and 1848. I know it was for 1 year. He went to Brazil, and he went to Brazil to be the family doctor for the Todd family. Thought I heard somebody down there moving. Okay, and that would be David Todd, future Governor David Todd. So that was pretty cool. There's another awesome thing about Timothy Woodbridge. Now, he did come back to Youngstown. And in 1861, oh, there's the I think that was the Happy Grass people over there. Was that the Happy Grass people? It was the Happy Grass people. They're done with their Happy Grass. So, went to college in Philadelphia, came back to Youngstown, went to Brazil, came back to Youngstown. Well, he went to North Lima, but then he, came to Youngstown. And yeah, let me get off the road here. And it got some litter bugs down here. Now, in 1861, he became a surgeon in the U.S. Army. That's right, he became a surgeon in the U.S. Army. And where was he stationed? Johnson's Island. And that's on Lake Erie. Now, this was the time of the Civil War. That was a what do you want to call, I guess you could say that was a rebel prisoner camp. And he did that until 1865. Now, mind you, those years, so when he was the Civil War time, that's when he bought and moved the log cabin. How cool is that? That is really awesome. Look, there's a little girl looking out the window at the log cabin. How funny is that? Yeah. But the last like year and a half, the last year and a half of his life, he had a stroke, a half stroke, whatever you want to call it, a partial stroke. When he was doing good, when he was feeling good, he still had stuff to do with the community. He still acted as a somewhat of importance and answered questions and such like that. So it's sad, but that's what happens when you get old. He lost his ability to do what physicians do. He did die in 1893 at 83 years old at the City Hospital. Now, the City Hospital was built in 1883. It started out as a house, okay? And that was on Oak Hill Avenue, later becoming Southside Hospital. Now, they say that he is the first doctor to die in the first hospital of Youngstown. So a lot of history. I mean, there's a lot of history surrounding the log cabin, Dr. Timothy. I want to give you the basics of the reason I'm talking about Dr. Woodbridge is because he bought this cabin. So that's I'm giving you the basic information, but you can really delve into his practice and see who his some of the people he went to school with and whatnot. Again, I'm giving you the basics, so if you want to do a little bit more research, you know, you're very welcome to. But yeah, I think that is where I'm gonna kind of stop from here until I can get into, like I said, I can get into the log cabin right now, but it is decorated. So I'm gonna wait until all the decorations are down, and then I will go in and tell you. Now I guess I could tell you a little bit more, a couple things here. I think it was 1892. I think it was 1892 that the park bought the property that the log cabin was on. And in 1934 they remodeled this, and yeah, see, there's people coming. 1934 they remodeled this, and now this is a you can rent this for parties and whatnot. Now those people I named, Governor Todd, Timothy Woodbridge, you can find them at the Oak Hill Cemetery. I've done a video on that as well. The Todd has a plot. It's a family plot, and Timothy Woodbridge is just a little stone. So don't be looking for no crypt or anything like that. It's just a little stone. But you know what? Me and my daughter, we're gonna go for a different total different walk right now. And when everybody's gone at the cabin, I'm gonna take you inside, and maybe we'll see if it's really haunted or not. So I'll get back to you. All right, the time has arrived, so we can go in to the old log cabin or the Timothy Woodbridge cabin. So now, before we go in, or what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk around. Okay, I'm gonna walk around. We'll go to the outside, and then we'll show you the inside. But what I wanted to tell everybody was, when this cabin right here, when this was here, okay, when Dr. Woodbridge lived here, this was not here. This area did not look like this. And I say this in the videos every time I'm by Lake Glacier. Before they dammed this, before they made the lake, there was still water in here, but it was more like a valley, and there was pools. There was like a pool here, a little pool here, a pool here. There was a bunch of water pools throughout here, so it wasn't one big lake. So this whole area was completely different than what it looked like now. That's why when, you know, the William greenhouse was down there, and it was closer to the lake before they moved it up a little bit. The log cabin was here. Just a lot more buildings and such, again, before this was here. But let's check the cabin out. The I can't even talk, the exterior of it. Yeah, and do forgive me, because when it's cold like this, my mouth starts weird. I can't talk right, my hands are numb, and I'm bouncing back and forth and whatever. Now, I do mumble a lot, don't get me wrong. I do mumble, and I go off subject quite a bit. You'll see if you stick around. But yeah, when it's cold, I just it's a totally different, it's a whole different ball game to compete with. But here, and I think they just recently did something to the outside of this. They repaired something. It looks like it might have been just that part. They might, I don't know. But yeah, the wooden shingled roof. We'll walk around. We'll walk outside. We'll walk around. And my daughter's leaving, so we got to get her to say goodbye. Let's see if she can. There she is. Okay, all right, yeah, she's leaving now. But here is the other side. Just think, I think you know, there wouldn't have been no electricity here at the time. Yeah, they must have been repairing these, but They must have been repairing the gutters right there. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Wow, look at that. Can you imagine that? Like that wouldn't have been there. Those houses wouldn't have been there. Just would have been quiet woods. I mean, it's quiet now, but it would have been a lot more trees, animals probably. In these roads, there wouldn't have been no cars, because at that time period, there would have been horse and buggy or ox and cart. You know, I do dig log cabins. Yeah, that's awesome. Look at that wooden shingled roof. Huh. I like that right there, that little section. That chimney. That is really cool. All right. Now, for the exciting part. Really the whole point of this video, the whole point of this video was to show you the inside of the log cabin. Okay, here we go. Ooh, and it's nice and warm in here right now. Look at that, we got the fire going on. Let's see, you got the old latch there. Yeah, there wouldn't have been electric in here at the time. Would have been a real fireplace, not a gas one. Check that out. That's awesome. The old for the horses, or would that be for you know, oxen, or both? There's a sign right there as well. Let's see. Cleveland, Woodbridge, log cabin, 1814. Now, what did I say? 1816. Now, when you look, I gotta be honest. Man, look at this. Wow. Check this out. Wow. Look at that light right there. Let me get another picture. I gotta stand back here. Look at this. Now, can you imagine? This was where Dr. Woodbridge stayed. His office was here, and he performed surgeries here. Yeah, and these would have probably been like all the fixtures. Now, I don't know if that's original or not right there. I don't know if these lights are even original, but anything in here that would have been of any kind of light source would have probably been lantern, you know. I was wondering if there was like a loft or an upstairs to this, and I'm looking at these sections right there, and they're on both sides. So maybe there could have been a loft up here, but I tell you what, it is nice and warm in here with this fireplace. Now I wonder where the skeleton was when that man came in here and got scared and thought this place was haunted. So what's in here? This would be the bathroom, but I don't know. This probably wouldn't have been here. I mean, this might have been a wood room or something in here. You know, obviously they would have had an outhouse back then. I don't think they would have had, you know, a bathroom. Okay. We'll do this. Shut that off. I still like that light. Oh, what I was going to tell you. When I do my research, about different things. Like this plaque says 1814. My source that I read from in different things says 1816. Okay, so there's always like these different date combinations that differ, and sometimes they're really close, sometimes they're far apart. Most of the time they're real close, but my source was 1816. So you listen to my video, I tell you the information that I think is correct and I know. Do some research for yourself and see what you can figure out. But you know, here we have it. 1814, my source says 1816 it was built. So I don't know. And some just say, I was reading, I think it might even be on the Milk Creek Park website, where they said that it was built around 1814. So I'm going with 1816. Now here we go. The kitchen. There's some steps. Those are some nasty looking steps if you fell. Hand cut. There's the hand marks. Now this, you know, would this have been the kitchen back then? Would this have been, or would this have been his operating room? Huh, where was his operating room? Because he did do surgeries in here. Huh. Are there any spirits in here at all? If so, give us a sign. Give us a knock. Give us a, just a sign that you're here. We mean no harm, right? We're here to pay our respects if there are. There's a window to look outside. I do not think this would have been here. But look, I don't know what this looked like back then, but looking out, that would have been a nice view. I bet you, boy, this would have been just oh man, serene, you know, just serene back then. Wow. And that goes outside. Yeah, I don't know if that would be the looking to see if people are okay. I don't know if that would have been the operating room or not. You know, that would be too small. The bathroom that they have right there would have been too small. That could have been, you know. I think where he lived, you know, it could have been, maybe they did have an upstairs to this or a loft or whatever. Maybe that was where he slept in that, and, you know, had a little office, you know, his living room was his office. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what it looked like back then. But this has been pretty cool. This has been really, really cool. I'll give you a 360 again of the inside. And there we have it. And like I said, I've done videos where I went past the log cabin and talked a little bit about it, but I had the opportunity to come inside today, so I figured, you know what, I'm going to do another video. I'm going to recap on some of the things I've talked about in the past, but I think I added some stuff this time around. And if you're new, you know, you get a lesson about, or some information, not so much a lesson, but some information that maybe you didn't know. But yeah, a lot more adventures coming up, by the way. This was our first little hike of the year, and like I said, I have a lot more planned. But that's not the only thing we do, right? Adventure is anything. Adventure is food. Adventure is hiking adventures, biking adventures, just road trips. Adventure can be whatever you make it to be. So I want to thank everybody for coming on today's adventure. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and until I see you on the next adventure, wherever that may be, Badamalenge.